Whew. Okay. 142. From XpooX105, who writes, as a bearded man myself, I should not be shocked at how different you look sans beard. I don't know where I'm going with this. Last time I asked a serious question and got the brush off, I will not make the same mistake. If you were stranded on a desert island and could only bring one video game with you, assuming you are allowed to bring some method of playing said game and electricity and a way to troubleshoot the inevitable problem with sand in the hard drive, what game would you bring? Deus. That way I could commit suicide with cyanide and focus on trying to survive in real life instead of playing a video game. Next up is 143 from QwazzleWazzle, who writes, how do you feel about turkey bacon and other bacon-esque breakfast meats? They can be delicious. In all honesty, though, I don't eat much bacon. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? So does abstinence. Next up is 144 from Lord Ink Death 27, who writes, 1. Ever since Civ 5 came out, you say that is the most disappointing game you have ever played. What was that prior to the release of Civ 5? 2. If there was one series of videos you have uploaded to YouTube that you could do again, whether it because you enjoyed playing it or you feel you didn't do the game justice or any other reason you think of, what would it be and why? Fuck. See, the only reason I gave that answer for Civilization 5 was because some smarmy asshat asked me what it was for a prior Q&A opportunity. What's the most disappointing game you ever played? Up until then, I hadn't fucking said that. Before that, I don't know, probably some game from high school that I asked for Christmas or bought with my own money and found very disappointing. Corsairs? 1602 AD? There was an American Civil War game from the History Channel that was absolutely god-awful and a complete waste of my money. Really expected better there. And I'm sure there are plenty more examples from when I was a kid, but I can't come up with them right now. As for your second question, I wouldn't take back anything. My experiences have been a valuable life experience, and for as much as I might regret anything I've done in my life, changing what I did would change who I am today, even though Titans of Steel would really have been better off as a single video, as I explained earlier. And, I mean, I can do any game that I want again, so it's not like that's a problem either. I think, are we facing 1,200 enemies again? I'm sure they're just tougher. Maybe different varieties of them. Be tougher varieties. Expecting to have to replace that magic blockade every single fucking time. 145? Why are you popping up? I didn't click on you. Fucking Steam overlay. 145 comes from eCar100, who writes, approximately how often do you record? I only have the one question. Does that mean I only get a half as much bacon as everyone else? And that led to a second question. Well, total up all the videos I've uploaded to YouTube, allow for maybe another day or two's worth of footage that I deleted off this channel before I even uploaded for various reasons, and there's your answer for how often I've recorded. If you were, like, say, looking for a rubric of when I sit down in my life and record, there's no schedule. Except for my current Shadowrun 4th edition game on Saturday, which I still have Chapter 10 and now Chapter 11 to upload as well. This is my hobby, and I take it as it comes. I've been pretty slow this year. I expect it'll pick up some more steam at some time. Let's see here. Next up we have 146 from LordFail93, who writes, my only two questions are, when the fuck will Gandhi get those goddamn nukes, and when he does, how fucked are we from a scale of 1 to fucked? Gandhi will get the nukes when he switches into democracy. That's when his minimal warmonger rating will combine from the negatives to warmonger that democracy gives, and he'll flip up into being the most evil son of a bitch the world has ever seen, just like the Ilra. What you have to do is crush him before this happens. Do so, and we won't be fucked. Peace. Next up, we have 147, the Claw 7. The Claw? The Sea-Lol? Sea-Lol. Sounds adorable. Oh, god damn it. Oh, Jesus. I am definitely feeling the strain of having answered so many fucking questions verbally instead of trying to type out all these answers. Just think of how long it'd take me to answer these if I had to come up with them, you know, if I didn't even have any answers to the questions or outlines typed at all, and I was trying to do a game like Dungeon Defenders. Or even if I wasn't, we would be here for probably about as long as I fucking did Extra Life 2013. 31 hours. And I haven't even gotten anything to eat or drink. Or had fun. Yes, the CLOL7, who writes, how much has this hobby cost you so far to the best of your knowledge, including games and equipment, and not including any income from the rewarding the rewarders opportunities? And as I have seen a Civilization 5 question, have either of the expansions helped it standing towards you? I won't count the new computer that I got, because that was really more for myself. And not something I purchased for this hobby. It just so happens that I can use this for this hobby. So, aside several $100s in a few months of my life, all strung together. But I've gained so much. And about Civilization 5, you know, my opinion of the game has marginally improved over the past 3 years, but I am still biased heavily against it after what I saw on its release. What a horrible game for X's. And then you offer DLCs of content that could, and perhaps very well should have been incorporated in the game. And I'm not talking about first day DLC. Espionage and religion, you remember those mechanics? The design team didn't deem that shit important for Civilization 5, just like they didn't deem multiplayer important, or being able to see the AI diplomacy mechanics, or having a serviceable interface and not having game-crippling bugs to be important, yet there they were! I played a bit of Gods and Kings since someone gifted it to me, like, earlier this year, I think. But I told myself that I would never, ever spend another fucking penny on Civilization 5, and that holds true. I've seen expert playthroughs of Brave New World, and I have to say, while those mechanics certainly seem interesting, I still don't think the game is anything more than mediocre. So what, that's $100 for buying all that stuff on release, plus any of the other minor DLCs if you wanted those, and what you're left with is mediocre? Good joke. I'd rather play a game that makes me less angry. Alright, 148 here comes from Affable Giraffable, who writes, some time ago you were talking about quitting Let's Plays. What made you decide to keep going? Why do you hate old people? What? I think the last time that probably happened was in the middle of last year, before I created the Rewarding the Rewarders list for the people who had so generously donated to me ever so long ago. I even offered a small window of opportunity up to other people. What keeps me going is the desire to want to keep going. The moment I stop wanting to do this hobby is the moment this hobby becomes a waste of my time. Consequently, I'll stop doing it. And I think I addressed the old people question earlier, so moving on. 149 from Alex Raynard, who writes, if you could stick your dick in the mashed potatoes, how many dicks would you stick in how many mashed potatoes? Here's some you're trying too hard, Bacon. 150 comes from the Sly Fox 16, who writes, at one point you felt you were going to stop producing videos as your hobby because of lack of funds to afford internet. That happened back in sort of like the March, April 2011. Has there been any other points in time that you thought about stopping this channel? 2. If you could have any game of your choice have a straight sequel or remake, what game would it be and why? Mine would be Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, or maybe the Urquan Master Star Control 2. What a convenient question! One that ties into what Affable Giraffable asked. Well, the answer is yes. The other major point was during the summer of last year, but there were several other times when I asked myself whether this hobby was worth my time, and I didn't know the answer. And a straight sequel or remake for Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri? Dude, I can't come up with a better answer than that right now. Why does it feel like the entire Civilization series went backwards from all the innovative features SMAC added? Seriously, the tech tree for this game is one of two hanging up in my room after all these years, and I tell you fucking what, I'll get some goddamn light in here. I'll open my blinds. You can actually see this on a video. I'll actually show you. You know, people have asked me to show this to them before plenty of times. I've never cared. I actually have to fucking detach my damn webcam from my monitor. Because I gotta twist it around. And then I gotta put up all the settings. And then I gotta have a fucking field day. Then we gotta go into spring break. No, I didn't click on that Steam overlay. I'm trying too hard, Steam overlay. Let's see here. Oh yeah, there we go. Alpha Centauri Technology. Right there. There you go. And that's my computer monitor. You can see my my notepad over there. OBS has been down there this entire time. And there's my Dungeon Defenders window. There's my window, by the way. Isn't that great, everyone? Glad we could have that moment together. Oh, goodness. Let's see if I can attach this back onto the fucking monitor. Make sure the cord's okay. I mean, I spent a few dollars on this. That'd be rude if something bad happened to it. Oh, and I guess I can show you the other one while I'm at it. Because, you know, I'm such a nice guy. I got a bad reputation, and I don't know why. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it, though. Yes, this is me in my bedhead. Like I said, I woke up like a half hour after or before I started doing this. Over there, that's the civilization called a Power 2 tech tree. On the wall there, by the quarterstaff I bought at a Ren fair in 8th grade. And yes, I got a haircut for my birthday. That's part of what my, actually this is the primary goal of my 9 fucking mile walk. Yep, bedhead. Woohoo! Haven't even showered today. This was so fucking important. I'm glad we can have this time together, everyone. We're moving on. I could show you the window and how the trees look outside, but seriously, that's not important. Alright. Alright, next up, we have 151 from Jordan A. Dobson. Hey, Jordan. How's it going? He writes, 1. Who was your favorite character in PC, or PC, from your VTM game on Saturdays? 2. Is there any tabletop game you've been wanting to play? Sorry, I just got derailed from fucking with the damn webcam there. I wasn't trying to check to make sure all my cords were okay and my voice is still being broadcasted and everything. From your VTM game on Saturdays. 2. Is there any tabletop game you've been wanting to play but have never had the chance to? My favorite character, the VTM game? Oh, that's a tough one. I'll stick to NPCs, because, while the PCs collectively are preferred ones, I won't try to pick favorites. If I will pick favorites, I'm not going to tell you those favorites. But my favorite NPC, that's still a tough one. I'd say that's a tie between Sevalod Cerveni and Match, the matchmaker. I can't choose between one or the other. I found them both so delightful, and I'm glad they can make an impact on the campaign world, on the 4 of you, each for entirely separate reasons. And a tabletop game that I wanted to play but never got the chance, well, I guess right now I have to say no, because A, I can't remember any right now, and B, if there was a tabletop system I wanted to play bad enough, you know as well as I do, and you from experience, that I could just upload another video looking for volunteers. I mean, I'd get enough to play just about any tabletop game I wanted. But yeah, it's a fucking, the world is my fucking oyster right now. There's definitely plenty of systems, though, I wanted to try out over the past in my life. And, many possibilities might be had in the future. Who knows, who knows, who knows. Next up is 152 from, at In the Beach, who writes, firstly, I've been watching you for a while, back when you offered rewarding the rewarders I did not have income. I was wondering if by any chance you would ever bring that back. My second question is, such, we love your videos and quite frankly love you. Have you ever considered monetizing your videos to which you can produce higher content for us? I know we wouldn't mind, and it's only a few more button presses on your side. Thanks, Grimith, Heart, Chuckle, Fuck, lots of crazy shit. I apparently even missed your first fucking question in my notes. So, would I ever bring it back? Too soon to tell. It's possible, but I wouldn't do that until I cleared the massive list. Massive of games that are already on the list. There's a lot of fucking games, and I keep running around without doing anything. So yeah, that's not even anywhere remotely near my consciousness or thought processes right now. As for your second question, sure, I've considered it. I formulated my official stance on the matter a long time ago, and when I started getting partnership offers back in April of 2012, I gave the matter once again serious thought. What I do here is my hobby, not my profession. Money does change things, whether we like it or not, and as I have no interest in watching advertisements, I have no interest in even making the option available for you to watch advertisements. I say option because I have two software items which handily deal with almost everything that comes up as an ad, and one of those is entirely free. Then again, I never even wanted to fucking have a donation link until I got viewer pressured, so I guess my opinion on the matter is mutable. If I actually got an offer from someone who didn't insult my intelligence with a cookie-cutter message, it didn't try to sell me on a whole load of bullshit, I might actually change my mind. Probably the second biggest thing I'm looking for, you know, after being treated as intelligent, is protection from the dangers of big bad YouTube and copyright claims. Just surprised that none of those barriers ended up getting moved more than just like a centimeter or two, despite the crazy sharks coming in. You know, big bad YouTube and copyright claims, and some groups can definitely offer that protection. But you know, I'm a dreamer, an idealist who has little problem with leaving the $15,000 in ad revenue I could have collected on the table. I'm no entrepreneur. If I were, but I wouldn't have picked a major that put me in a cardboard box. Next up is 153 from Lord Castellian, who writes, on the off chance that you decide to do some sort of face cam tomfoolery for the bacon dispensary video, might we get a shot of everyone's favorite co-commentator, Grim's air conditioner? Now on to a real question. What is the most hilarious thing you remember ever experiencing in a tabletop game? I'd have to take the webcam off my monitor again, and then I'd have to put it back on. Besides, the air conditioner has transitioned into my heater until March. How convenient is this going to be for me? Where exactly did I put this cord? I guess it's there. It's not exactly a long cord anyway. Alright, let's try this. First, I'll show you how things look outside my window. To an extent. To the, yeah, that's how a particular tree looks. There's even some evergreens out there. And then right below that is the air conditioner slash heater. You can see a bunch of boxes piled up in their corner. Those are the Christmas boxes. So yeah, that's it. It is wall mounted, and it goes down pretty far. Of course, there's the Blue Yeti with the cheap pop filter. Righto? Righto. Let me put that back. Breaking the illusion. Hurt my derp. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. You were silly. Yeah. Alright. Right, lost my train of thought. As for the most hilarious thing I remember ever experiencing in a tabletop game, like, I could tell you, but the problem is that tabletop games develop their own inside jokes based on their time and experiences together, so I think it would completely fall flat. But I would say that Griffin God's role as Roldar Took in the final chapter of the D&D 4E Summer of Fun campaign ranks up there at the bottom of the top 10 list. Everything else would take so much time to explain, and even then you wouldn't have a whole lot of context with it because you weren't there. At least with the 4E campaign, I uploaded the videos, so you get to see most of our interaction. 154 comes from James Tate, who writes, "Can you go into the philosophy of war? War never changes. That you spoken of when you played Fallout 1 and 2. Shit. What if you actually called me out on that? What a great question. I really like this question. Let's see here. I think war never changes is a foolish statement. One of those blithe banalities uttered by people who want to come across as insightful and well-learned. And honestly, it's not like I expect a video game to be groundbreaking on political martial theory. The narration insinuates that war never changes because people never change, although the reasons for war do. Well, that's not true. People are mutable. The very existence of scores of attempts by individuals smarter and better educated than myself or any of you listening speaks to how we, as humans, have attempted to quantify war. Because defining war must be the first step in any philosophical discussion of it. Heraclitus. I don't remember how to pronounce his name. A Greek philosopher wrote that war is the father of all things. Many other philosophers, including Voltaire, have echoed that thought process. I'm also going to stop upgrading shit at this point. Personally, I don't think war is some underlying truth, some all-pervasive phenomenon of the universe. I also wouldn't paint the definition of war into a corner, as many other theorists have done. The best suggested definition of war I've ever read has it listed as a state of organized, open-ended, collective conflict or hostility. I feel as if I got off on a tangent in there somewhere. Well, I have fried up a lot of bacon already, so please excuse my low-quality reply. Still, I think I got my point across. As an intelligent person who has considered and discarded numerous war theories, a video game attempting to philosophically sass me through poignant nonsense is, let's look at malarkey. I hope we can all agree on that. 155 entry comes from Sadist21. Hey there. He writes, 1. What is/was your favorite gaming console? Not inducing PC. 2. Why don't you want to get drunk? Probably the Super Nintendo? Yeah, I'd definitely say the Super Nintendo. As for why I don't want to get drunk, becoming drunk is the forfeiture of both responsibility and control. I've seen what alcohol does to people. My father, so intelligent and willful, drunk himself into a stupor for years, nearly every night. So did many of his friends. Now, being so close to my father personality-wise, I can understand why he drank so heavily. But I also saw what it did to him, and to his friends, and most importantly, to the people around them. And I will not allow myself to become that way. You want escapism? Or group activity? Then do something better than being a societal burden. Because after a lifetime spent dealing with drunks, I have no more patience for them. Fucking done. Let's see here. 156 comes from Toothpick McBrainy, who writes, if you could put together an all-star team to develop an amazing game, who would you include and what kind of game would you have them make? Have you ever been so overwhelmed by the brilliance or by the beauty of brilliance in a game that it drove you into a state of pure unbridled euphoria? If so, what game and why? Will Wright, and whatever design team he thought best, designing whatever game he thought best, because he knows more about games than I do. I'm serious. I have a deep appreciation for Sid Meier, but I can't forget how much of an impact SimCity made on me. Oh shit. How did those move? Also, this might not be the final wave. You know, this might actually be one of those that goes up to like 30 or 35 that I remember hearing about. I've never actually played on one of those before. I didn't see final wave text, and if there was, I fucking zoned out. So bad. Maybe I should upgrade shit after all. Hi, everyone. Well, sweet. This gravy train with experience and me not having to reset up defenses, it can keep rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. So yeah, I have a deep appreciation for Sid Meier and what he did, but I can't forget that experience. And you know, an all-star team type of situation, you can't exactly just pick big hitting names. You need to pick a team that blends in and meshes well together. You need a lot of chemistry. That matters. That factors into it. You know, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and you need to get people on board to recognize that, and to acquiesce or to demand from each other as the situation requires. But I fucking loved the Super Nintendo port of SimCity. It's easily one of the most influential, if not the most influential game I've played in my entire life. Now, as for your second question, in my adult life, I would say no. As a kid, I flipped my shit over many games, including SimCity and others that were mentioned earlier, but I don't recall ever feeling as extreme as you're suggesting. But I am a cynic. 157 comes from Lunar Olm, who writes, "Where is your glorious neckbeard? What ingredients do you like in your meat bread?" Meat bread? Like a sandwich? I think I designed my favorite sandwich for someone earlier. If you actually mean meat bread, though, you've got bigger problems. 158 comes from the Irish It Factor. Hello there, who writes, "How long do you see yourself continuing this hobby? And what is your proudest moment so far as a gamer?" Hell if I know. I don't look at the future much. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not actually an oracle. I thought I'd have stopped at, after Liberal Crime Squad, and yet here I am, frying bacon 3.5 years later, so we'll go until it stops, whatever the fuck that is. As for proudest moment, I'm not sure whether there's anything, like, I don't think proud is a good word choice here. Being proud of being a gamer, or doing something while playing a game? I mean, I guess it makes more sense than being proud of things you can't control, so, the fact that I'm okay with being who I am is my proudest moment, I guess? I might have a better answer for this later. That sounds legit to me, though. Let's move on. Before I confuse myself. Let's see here. 159 comes from Mr. Critic, who writes, "Are all famous LPers fat? Well, except for Grayson, she is dumb, smiley face." And 2, what do you think about the Pope? Will he finally eliminate celibacy? What? For starters, I don't know who the fuck Grace is. I know the popular encouragement is that there are no stupid questions, but I'm pretty fucking sure that a negative reply here is 100% certain. The answer is no to your first question, even if we consider the relativity of what famous is, whatever you want to construe that to be. That any person with enough intelligence to type a question to the text parser should be capable of realizing that. I'm not sure whether I should give you confused Grimith bacon or your dumb bacon. In both? I'm even going to skip your second question here and call for everyone else to shun you, due to the sheer unfathomability of that first query. Nah, just kidding. I don't care about the Pope or what he thinks. Moving right along! 160 from Natsuki PL, who writes, "Did you ever continue playing willingly the game which would constantly drive you nuts?" Another question, which game, if any, had the biggest impact on your life, like the way of seeing the world, etc.? There have been, I imagine, dozens of games which made me angry, and yet I continue to play them because I'm a masochist. Perhaps this is a situation where I take pride as a gamer, referencing an earlier question, because I somehow thought I was the better person of it. If I say, beat Civilization 4 even with the stupid vassal state mechanics and random event mechanics on, I guess sort of like, yeah, I guess this one does fucking keep going. Alright! Good news, everyone. I'll just have to keep fucking replacing this every single fucking time. And upgrade that a bit. Yeah, you know, Dwarf Fortress or other hard games where people take pride for what seems like foolish reasons. And then, you know, I'd have that one fucking random event pop up that spawns an entire horde of barbarians right outside your doorstep, which can happen in Civilization 4 if you have random events on. I think you need barbarians on too, yeah. And then, you know, they annihilate you and you lose the game because that's fun. Thanks, Phalanxes! As for biggest impact game, this one's definitely been covered. That'd be Civilization 4, Super Nintendo. Righto. For the reasons already mentioned. Question 161 comes from Meister II, who created a Let's Play database / resource site, which I can actually go ahead and fucking show you. Can I? I cannot. Alright, let's go ahead and make a new capture. Window capture. No, new chat message. The fuck? Okay. Properties? Will you capture it? No? You are not playing ball with me here. Okay. Doesn't seem like they want to show that site. Okay, we'll try from a different perspective here. Apparently there's like a chat thing, a public chat thing that's open, and maybe that's confusing like the window capture. Entire window. There we go. Gamerson, Let's Play database, community, and resource site. Messaged me about it before. So there you go. That's a thing. Gamerson.com. You can look into that. Okay? Okay. Now, he writes, any chance in the near future for another Let's Hang Out and Play Nintendo session with Jeff? 2, would you be interested in being a judge for a Let's Play contest with Revocane? With Jeff, very likely not, for reasons I've mentioned earlier in this Q&A. As for being a judge in a contest for this hobby, I've done that in the past, by request. For the Voltron Army, in fact, one of the videos I judged was a submission by Revocane, Every Day the Same Dream. I think the game... Never mind. No, I don't think I should be a judge for this hobby. I'm a content creator, but I'm also a viewer just like everyone else, and while I have an educated opinion, I don't think it's particularly special in a group setting. Okay. Question 172 comes from... Let's actually get to work here. Grabbing some chests and stuff. Question 162 comes from D. Snyder, who writes... Do you play beta stage games often? For example, like you did on Redshirt? And, 2, do you believe in game hype? If yes, then what has been your, most disappointing hype? Usually not. Redshirt was a rare exception, and it led to spectacularly average gameplay. Not a waste of my money, but I had a hard time recommending the game to other people. And I'm not in any rush to play the full version now that it's been released. As for game hype, I almost never pay attention to it. Design teams say many things, then change their minds. Probably the last new game I purchased was Europa Universalis 4. And 2 weekends ago. Yeah, it was 2 weekends? 2 weekends. Ago at a significant discount. And it's been out for, what, 3 months? There are thousands of games I've never played, and I want to give the developers time to fix perceived problems with their game, as well as give trusted sources the opportunity to analyze the game. The last major game I followed and bought shortly after release was, before that, was Civilization 5, and as that is the most disappointing game I've played in my entire life, and that definitely falls under that burden thing. Perhaps you can understand why I'm reluctant to be burned again. Holy fucking shit. Woohoo! Look at how those got smoked. Damn. Got the truck stick. Serious fucking business. I didn't think this was one of the maps that would go on for so long, and definitely got a threat here for sure. Two other shit falling apart, but that's okay. I guess look at all the score that I got. I need to keep playing to level up anyway, right? Right. How fast those fuckers are. Really could use an ensnare, alright. I don't really have to worry about genies. I have to think about that. I don't know, that sounds like effort, though. I don't exactly feel like I want to put forth effort. Oh, you saw the shark there, he went, arr. You can always get rid of that fireball power, and maybe place an ensnare aura up here. Not sure whether that ended up being better for me, though. Yeah. I'm reluctant. Answer that question. Okay, this one's gonna be pretty long. 163 from Deleted Chemical, who writes, "In your bio, it is written, I see myself as a work in progress. I leave much to be desired, but I am working inexorably on refining myself. Perhaps one day I will be satisfied. What type of person do you want to be? 2. Is this hobby contributing to your effort to be this person? Hindering it? Or are results yet to be seen?" Alright. Super serious time, folks! What type of person do I want to be? I don't have any platitudes here, I don't know. This answer changes regularly. I'm actually surprised I'm still alive after all these years. I stopped thinking about the distant future, well, a long time ago. Perhaps the biggest problem is the wrath in my heart. My father and his father before had this problem and still do, albeit to a lesser extent. My father became a drunk mainly to escape his anger. I keep hoping that I can just not keep trying to solve the sharkin problem and just keeps inserting in those same fucking things and it'll somehow keep working for me. So let's stick with that. Because why the fuck not? Until it fails. My father and his father before had this problem and still do, albeit to a lesser extent. Even after all these years, I'm still so angry. And I keep myself isolated, primarily so that I'm the only person who feels that anger. My father, became a drunk, mainly to escape his anger, with mixed results. Me, I'm too conscious of others. So it sieves there. Since I was a teenager, I've felt that my anger, given physical form, with as much willpower as I have, could do anything I wanted if only I were provoked, because I'm not an ambitious person. Hell, all I've wanted to do was have a positive impact on the people I love, and, well, on society in general, which is why I wanted a profession that involved people, and why I wanted to become a teacher for so long, and why an entertainment hobby like this one suits my personality. But I'm always so angry, and one of my fears is what I'd do if I ever lost control. When you hear me in my videos, what you usually hear is whatever I say off the top of my head. I try not to let frustration linger. Instead, I vent my feelings, and they go into the air, and they're gone. What I say is not so much ham, though I am melodramatic, and I get that from my mother, but just me bitching so it doesn't nestle in my head. If I really disliked any game that I played and recorded, then I wouldn't do it, plain and simple. Remember that the next time I'm whining about something stupid like a mechanic in Thief Gold. The more notable situations are the ones where I fall dead quiet, because those are when I'm actively exerting the full weight of my willpower so I don't lose control. There aren't many of them in my recordings, but they do exist, and I think they're all in that compilation video I put together with viewer participation earlier this year. The best example, I think, is the Robosart one, where I was playing King of Dragon Pass and had an epic leader of the clan ring who was eviscerated by a random ghost while trying to become leader of the tribe. There was a long pause, And then I walked far away from my computer and let out a furious, "Are you fucking kidding me?" People have made ringtones of that. I'm serious. I needed some time to regain my composure. That's not the worst moment I've had while recording. But you folks haven't seen the worst ones, because I delete those. Yeah, the guy who prefers first take live commentary does actually scrap videos, in the case of technical flaws or blatant fury. The best example of that I have is back in February 2011, while playing Romance of the Three Kingdoms 6. I'd had a bad day, and I was recording trying to calm down while playing a video game. And I can't even remember the exact situation. What popped up and made me flip my goddamn mind. But I got so angry that I put my fist through my solid wood desk, breaking the son of a bitch. And my laptop was hanging out the side, dangling like, "Happy! Happy!" I had to throw it away and cobble together a substitute desk out of plastic containers. That video got the fuck scrapped. I feel as if I'm a tangent again. This is why I like to prepare answer outlines for these questions in advance, otherwise I'd be recording for fucking God knows how long. At the same time, though, this is important to the question, right? Because I'm attempting to convey my condition to you, to listeners, so that you can understand what type of person I'd like to be. A less angry one. But it's not as easy as just not being angry. My mom tries that tactic. She says that you don't have to be destructive with your anger. You don't have to throw a bitch fit like Dad has done on numerous occasions, and admittedly, as have I. You don't have to hurt the people around you, but I'm afraid I can't let go. As much as I don't want to be angry and actively avoid situations which I think could make me angry, my anger is one of the biggest motivators of my life. It's a source of drive, of passion I can harness to achieve objectives. Like with someone who's competitive, using that desire to beat others, and be the best at things. And people view homicidal competitiveness positively in Western civilization, right? Just look at Michael Jordan. So I can make my anger work for me, and I have made my anger work for me. Extra Life 2013 is a good example of that. You don't think I went 31 fucking hours for the children, do you? Oh, fucking no. And I would have gone longer if Twitch didn't start giving me the middle finger. Now, if only I can funnel my anger into a more commercially successful venture, that way I can move out of this cardboard box. Maybe I could be a comic. There have been successful angry comics in the past. I could be one of them. You know, if I actually learn how to be funny. People say I try too hard to be funny, so I just need to learn how to try less and achieve more. The procrastinator's dream. Being more intelligent would be nice, but ignorance is strength, and I already have such a great divide between myself and others, so much so that I know I cannot function in society. Could be less intelligent. Hard to feel social responsibility and the need for control when you're one of the dull knives in the drawer. Maybe if I was less of an asshole, but I became this way A, to protect my shy sensitivities by being crushed by bullies and by the unfairness of life, and B, because this is how guys are stereotyped to others, at least as my culture. We're assholes. I guess I could try to be less cynical. I mean, I do put considerable trust in humanity. Sometimes I'm a glass half full kind of guy. No, I think I'm too intelligent to be optimistic, and I also hate myself. Well, maybe I could try not hating myself. I haven't not hated myself since I was a kid. Since February 26, 2000. But it's not like I don't already try that. It just doesn't work, and that whole "if you want it bad enough, you can do anything" line is bullshit. This is an elementary school and I can't be president of the United States. My teachers lied to me. Kind of think of it, the only person I trusted who didn't lie to me was Mr. Rogers. I'm serious. So clearly, I'd become a much better person in life if I just emulated him. The only person I trusted who didn't lie to me in life was Mr. Rogers. I'm not kidding, I just had this thought. Frying up bacon hancers for this hobby. I'm going to put some of his books on my Christmas list, maybe. Since, you know, I always have problems thinking of one of those because my family's happiness is the best gift I can ever receive. What do you want for Christmas? Fucking, God damn it. Jesus, fucking, leave me the fuck alone. I'll have to relive my childhood and watch some of his shows tonight. You know, escapism. Running from my problems, because I don't do that enough. See, there's the Senec again. Man, this is tough. I'm a work in progress. Good discussion, everyone. This proves that the answer to your second question is yes. Now that we had that wonderfully uplifting moment, let's continue! Oh boy. 164 from Idiotic Ultimara. I'm a derp. I was gonna ask why you shave beard, but that has been asked. 1. Can you grant me wishes? Please? 2. What do you spend most of your free time doing other than recording? No, I'm not a genie. When I become Jafar, you may be one of the people I tell. As for your second question, when it comes to my free time sans recording, most of that is definitely spent playing video games. Whee! It's like they're skating. Whoosh. Ever tell you how much I should probably build a snare or a gas trap, something to slow them down and make it easier for me to kill them? It'd be pretty useful. And add to the firepower of my already existing towers without building more towers. Yeah, what a pipe dream that is. Like, I'm actually gonna do that. Haha, good joke. Uh-oh. 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 Whoa, now. Just got hammered pretty hard. Yeah. I also spend some time on this hobby encoding and uploading videos, as well as interacting with viewers. I read for pleasure. I started doing yoga, I guess, technically early last month, which is certainly an interesting image because I didn't quite imagine myself doing yoga in any part of my life, but as it turns out, it actually calms down the wrath in my heart, which, as we all know, is a silly statement anyway, because that's not where wrath is. If I had to offer a genuine guess as to my future cause of death, it would be cardiac arrest from lack of physical fitness and excessive anger. Yoga helps me deal with both. Although I haven't done so much this past week. I walked for, although technically it's sort of a new week. I did walk for 9 miles out of the suburbs into the city as a birthday gift to myself, and, you know, like 9 days in the future, my feet are still... So, then again, the disc golf walking around didn't help either, but, when you go from a sedentary lifestyle to walking for 9 miles in the rough suburb streets, it was a sudden shock for my feet. Less the shoes, more you haven't walked that far since college. Now, next up is from, is 165 from a very recognizable viewer of mine, Wilhelm. Wilhelm the Second. Wilhelm the Second. Oh man, long time enjoyable viewer. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Who asks, have you at any point in time ever considered trying out voice acting?
You have a surprisingly diverse dialect range that I find...
You know, this is probably something worth discussing. Before we get into that, this is a... You know, some folks think that I use, like, audio synthesizers or, you know, it's not me, that I'm not capable of doing that.
Well, let me tell you something. I am very capable of doing this voice. Look, Mom, no hands.
I can also go really high. Awesome. Yeah, I love playing Dungeon Defenders, and I really love answering questions for all of you, my delightful viewers. I am so glad that we can get together and experience merriment and enjoyment, peace and harmony with all.
So yeah, I'm glad we could have that moment together, everyone. Yes. Have you at any point in time ever considered trying out voice acting? You have surprisingly diverse dialect range that I find rather interesting. 2. And knowing from previous videos with your preferred sexual orientation being towards females, what kind of girl do you like? What's your type? And you can't pick me, I already got a boyfriend, and you probably don't want an angry white shotgun-equipped Alabamian? Not at your door. I've been an amateur voice actor by request and by offer, but professionally, you know, if that opportunity ever came my way, I'd look at it, but I don't actively seek it because, I don't know, I guess it's just not something I see myself doing. I've toyed with my voice
since I was a kid.
Because I found it hilarious, and while I don't spend as much time in front of the mirror as I used to, I still obviously keep up the habit. I mean, I guess since I already picked a career path that has me living in a cardboard box, why not make a lateral move, right? So I tell you what, you and everyone else listening can do some marketing for me. Because I'm not an entrepreneur who can market himself, or otherwise I would have made a partnership I would have accepted a partnership offer long ago, and I'd be showing you all obnoxious, unskippable advertisements. And look for people you think would be interested in me, and we'll go from there, okay? Okay. Oh, so, my type? Because I am the best authority given my, my condition and all the problems with me. Absolutely, to have a discussion about this. Alright. Well, you're right, it couldn't be you, because I don't like Alabama or Auburn. Oh, man. Let's see here. My type. I actually need to, I'm not gonna be able to walk around for this one, I gotta think about those. My type. Someone on my intellectual level, or at least relatively close, perhaps even slightly above to curb my arrogance. Someone more practical than I am to counter my in-the-clouds dreamer attitude. Someone willful and ambitious, you know, to create spicy contention between the two of us, because she'd get angry at my content state of being, and I'd be like, whatever. And against my better judgment, I like broken girls. I don't want someone who needs another person for an anchor, because, well, I've been down that path, and it's not healthy. This is a public service announcement brought to you by Grimith. You remember that Papa Roach song, Scars? Yeah. You gotta fix yourself? Yeah, something like that. I don't want someone who needs another person for an anchor. At the same time, well, I have what I see as a severe flaw in my intense anger, and I want to be on equal footing here, so she's gotta have a lifelong problem which has served as a major crux of her entire adult life. And low self-esteem is too easy of an answer, although it's no less serious. We need something interesting because, well, fuck, I need to be intellectually stimulated, right? She'll help curb my problem, I'll help curb hers, and we'll both be bonded together because of the drama. Something morbidly romantic like that. Oh, man. I can't handle an alcoholic for reasons I think I made clear. A smoker, I'm more negotiable on that, but I do not enjoy the smell of cigarettes. I also have a grandfather who died rather he smoked himself into a gasping death. Oh, what the fuck is it called? COPD. He had emphysema and COPD, CAPD, COPA. It's an incurable condition, basically caused by chronic smoking, exposure to asbestos. He worked a pretty rough life, and he died as he knew he would end up dying, barring some sort of crazy random occurrence. He collapsed. He couldn't get to you know, couldn't get to any sort of medicinal thing that would help to stop constricting his lungs so much. The oxygen tank wasn't good enough, and he died. And it was certainly a situation where he'd gotten into a few near-death scenarios before. One particular example, he told Mom, which is always something you should tell your daughter, right? Would be, he was with one of my cousins, with a niece, and he had a moment where he collapsed, and he was away from his oxygen bag. He'd just gotten out of the vehicle, and he couldn't get to his medicine. And if it wasn't for my niece being there at the time, he would have died then. So that's a sensitive situation, and I've seen my mom, and you know, she quit smoking for a long time, and then she picked up electronic cigarettes several years ago, which was something that I recommended to her. I thought it'd be all right. And every now and then she gets a craving for a real cigarette, and sort of like how my dad had difficulty quitting alcohol at the drop of a hat, she's had so much trouble quitting cigarettes, and it's there. You know what she said to her father about remaining, stopping the smoke, and how her father died. So I'm a little sensitive on that subject. I think those are the main issues, though. I haven't given this topic any thought in years, so I might be leaving off something important, like don't be an axe murderer, but I think that covers the foundation. Physical-wise, I'm flexible. Obviously, that's not anything is my remote concern at all. You get someone comparatively attractive to how I am, or rather how I will be, when I work myself back down to my college weight of 245, and there you go. I do like red hair, I do like glasses, I like unusual eye colors, and I don't like makeup. But now we're into silly territory, we didn't cross into it. I mean, since we're there, we might as well add an appreciation for sacrifices one will make for family, because I certainly made many of those whenever I came back home from college. And there are selfless reasons why I still live at home, and home has put a serious moratorium on romance, which, I haven't even gone looking for it because I realize the significance of the situation. Speaking of that, speaking of romance, I might as well note that I would prefer someone with more sexual experience than I am. I do have some, but rather than the popular collegiate male stance that sex is recreational and doesn't need to have strings attached, I always saw emotional value in the act, and I never wanted to use or be used for sex, and even at the height of my hormones while surrounded by college girls. Besides intense anger, incredible intellect, intolerance for others, unyielding willpower, we've been down this path before, so I'm no virgin. But I don't know as much as I'd like, and I think being with someone of comparative experience there would just be awkward. We try to fumble around with each other and help each other out, and then, I've been down that path, too. So there's someone who could put my head in the game there. That'd be great. Oh, man. Aren't you glad we could have that moment together, everyone? I tell you what. I already asked you all to market me out as a voice actor. Why don't you individuals of the female persuasion, knowing what you know now about my interest and intent, get together and see what you can do? I'm not one for long-distance relationships, but good news, my cardboard box travels well. As long as it's not outside of the country. That'll probably get flagged by U.S. Customs. Alright. We need to end this video. Oh, man. I might need to get some water, too. I don't know, I was hoping to power through this, but this is definitely taking a long fucking time. I'll gab with you all in a bit.